Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? I hope you are doing well. I am excited to come here because I wanted to come and just talk a little bit about clarity. As you all know, as we are headed towards the end of the year, we have a lot of people making plans for their lives, making plans for the upcoming year. So we want to come here. I want to come here and just talk a little bit about that because a lot of people have moved into the private sector or are doing some things for themselves that is they're doing some things for themselves, and so it's important for them to be able to brand themselves properly. So I just want to ask you, let me just check to make sure that this thing is going live properly, because I had started before and it didn't work out, so I had to kind of log off. So I'm going to try again and see whether it's working well. So give me 1 second. Yeah, I tell you, this technology. So I normally go live on Facebook, but today I wanted to come live on YouTube so I can just have a little conversation about branding. So I wanted to talk about branding because branding is so important. A lot of people are trying to brand themselves, or they go on social media, they want to brand themselves. You go on Instagram, Facebook, and create a website and all that. But branding is more than just doing all those different things. You have to first, one of the things that I think a lot of times we don't consider when we are working on our personal brand is just getting clarity on who you are and what it is that you want to accomplish. A lot of people are trying to create websites, they're trying to create these social media platforms that look perfect and everything, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for excellence, I'm all for us do I'm all for us accomplishing the goals that we've set for ourselves. But one of the things that I think is really lacking is where people just don't understand their assignment, or they don't understand their goal, or who they are first. And so if you want to do any kind of personal branding, the first thing that you should start with is just understanding who you are. You have to understand who you are. You have to understand what your strengths and weaknesses are. You have to understand what you bring to the table, or what you're trying to accomplish with your life or with your business, before even trying to brand. So taking time to do an inventory and getting clarity on who you are, what you want to accomplish, is really important. So for example, if you are trying to brand your company or your business, you have to look at your business and actually ask yourself a couple of questions. One of them is, who do I want to be? Like, when someone looks at my brand, what experience do I want them to have? Or who is my target audience? Because that's a big one. Because no matter how gifted you are, no matter how you have a big heart and you want to reach the whole world, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you cannot reach the whole world. You have a specific target audience. A lot of times we don't do our homework to be very clear on who our target audience is. And then once you know what your target audience is, look at what they need, and then ask yourself, is the business that I'm doing, or the services that I'm offering, is my target audience interested in this service? Because a lot of times you can have a good idea, you can be talented in what it is that you're doing, but if you are servicing the wrong target, you will find yourself getting frustrated, because you will not be able to meet you'll not be able to meet the needs of the people. Because those people will need, they will have specific needs. But if you are not meeting those needs, then you will not be able to be successful, because you are not reaching the right target audience. So a lot of people have been asking me, how do I know what my target audience is? And so you have, that's something I wouldn't be able to tell you who your target audience is, but it's something you have to be able to research so that you can be clear on who you are sending your message to. Once you know who your target audience is, then the next thing you want to do is to let me see here. Yeah, just need to send this real quick. Once you know who your target audience is, then the next thing you want to do is to find out what problems do they have, or what problem can you solve for your target audience. A lot of times we find people doing a lot of different things or offering a lot of different things, but they're not taking time to ask themselves those simple questions. Is that does my audience need this? So when you find yourself, even at this end of the year session, if you reflect on maybe your business or your brand, and you find yourself asking, wondering why maybe you didn't meet your goals and all that, you have to look at the audience that you're sending your information to, or the audience that you're trying to serve. Do they need what you're offering? Because if you are giving them something that they don't need, they will never pay for it. They will never take time to and even look at what it is that you do. So you can be posting things on Facebook or posting on Instagram, doing some TikToks and all that. But if your audience is not interested in what you're offering, then they are not going to reach out to you because they're not interested in what you're offering. So you have to take time to discover what it is that your audience needs, and then from there is when you look at what you're offering. If what you're offering is what they need and they're still not buying it, then maybe there's a communication issue, because sometimes you can be so involved in what it is that you're offering that you're not even communicating it properly in a way that your audience can understand. So this one is really a big thing, because you can be communicating but not communicating the right way, and so your audience might actually need your service, but they're not clear on what it is you offer. So if maybe you're using language that they don't understand, or you're not hitting the pain points of what your audience needs, then you will not be able to reach they will not be able to reach out to you, because they won't feel like you're able to offer them what they need. So you have to take time to find out what your audience needs first, and then you start to work backwards in making sure that whatever it is you're offering is actually in line with what it is that they need. And that's when you'll be able to see some change. You'll be able to see them you'll be able to start seeing them moving towards you, because they know that whatever it is you're offering is something that they are looking for. And one of the last things I want to talk about is also now when it comes to personal branding. So when it comes to personal branding, this is very specific to you. You are an individual. You are created to be an individual. That's why you even have different fingerprints. You have a different personality. You have a different way of doing things, because you're an individual. So even if someone, and we can just, let's say if someone does hair over here and they do a really good job, and you also do hair over here and you do a good job, you are not going to be exactly the same, even though you're offering the same thing, because other than just doing hair, that you have your own vibe that you have concerning how you present yourself, or how you talk to your clients, or the communication you have, or how you service people when they're in your shop. So just because someone has the same vision as you, or is doing the same thing as you, does not mean that the vibe is the same. And so you have to look at your own brand, and that's when you start to develop you. What are some of the good things about you? What are some of the good qualities that you have? And then you start to develop those, because as you continue to develop those qualities, then you're going to be able to, as you continue to develop those qualities, then you're going to be able to grow and attract the right kind of people. And you'll also find your own brand, such that when you start creating your own website, start creating your own social media platform, or your own Instagram, Facebook, and all that, you will have your own personal brand that will be in line with you, who you are, so that when people meet you, they don't get shocked, wondering like, oh, is this the same person I saw on Instagram or Facebook? Because a lot of time, and this is so funny, but a lot of times we find where people see you on social media, but when they meet you in person, they're like, okay, you don't look like the same person, or I thought you were like this, but you're really like this. And not that you have to be exactly the way you are on Instagram or Facebook, but at least your personality should be able to be seen through what it is that you post, through what it is that the pictures that you're posting on your social media platform, such that when someone meets you in person or when someone does business with you, they are going to see that this is the same person. And I remember even having a conversation with someone who was saying that they always ask people, is this do you really do this, or is this just what you show people on Instagram or what you show people on Facebook? And this is very common because when it comes to social media, people can post anything, people can show they can show different things, and some of the things they show are not really who they are, and so we don't get to really see their personality the way they truly are. And so when you meet someone, sometimes you get shocked because you're like, okay, I thought you were like this, because on Instagram you present yourself as this person, but in real life you're not. As you're creating your brand, even if you're outsourcing the services whereby you have someone who's helping you with your brand, make sure that they understand your message, make sure they understand who you are and what you're trying to do, so that they can become so that they can be able to so that they can be able to represent you well. Because sometimes you can have people who are very good at what they do, but they don't get the vibe of who you are. And so whatever they're posting for you, or whatever pictures they're putting about you, are not in line with who you are. And so when they meet you in real life, it almost looks like you're two different people. And that can hurt your brand, because it makes people feel as though you are fake, or as though you are leading them on to believe that you're one thing when you're not. And it could also be the other way, whereby maybe you present yourself a certain way on social media, and then when people meet you, they're shocked. They're like, wow, you're way better than what I thought, or your services are much better. Why don't you advertise more, and all that? So that's a better reaction than having the opposite, whereby you present yourself all perfect and look all these amazing things that you show about your brand, and then only to come and find that you don't really do most of those things that you present out there. So make sure that in order to protect your brand, you're exactly who you are on social media, and you're also who you are in private life. And so that when people meet you, they know that, okay, if I'm going to do business with her, or I'm going to do business with him, this is the person that I'm going to meet. And then when it comes to companies, so when it comes to individuals, it's a little bit easy, because you can be able to just adjust anywhere that you need to adjust, and you can be able to show that you can be able to make those changes. But when it comes to an organization, it becomes a little bit hard, because you can show people that you're one way in an organization when actually you're not, and that can also hurt your business. Or maybe you have like an organization, let's say like a nonprofit, or you have like a church, where sometimes you can go to a website, or a church website, where you find that they have all these different activities that they show that they do. Everything looks all perfect, or they look like they're all this multicultural, and then when you go, maybe it's only just one culture. Or you find that all those things that they had put on social media, they're not really those things. So that can really hurt your brand, that can hurt your organization, that can make people feel like, oh, like they were led on to think that you're one thing when you're not. So even make sure, even when it comes to organizations, when it comes to nonprofits, if you're posting that the things that you do, that you're actually those things. Or if you post that we are this multicultural place, then make sure that you actually are a multicultural place, so people don't come there with one expectation only to find that it's not. And then also be clear in the message. So whatever message you're putting out there, make sure that that is who you are, or that is what they will find. And people love to just integrity when it comes to just presenting what it is that you do. And then they come and see that, okay, whatever you presented is actually or whatever you said on the website is actually what you do, then that would be awesome, awesome, awesome for your brand. So branding is not that hard, but when before you can start branding, the most important thing is to have clarity. Once you have that clarity of knowing who you are and what it is that you want to sell, then also take the time to understand who your target audience is. Then that will help you in understanding, that will help you when it comes to creating your personal brand. So I do have a session that's going to be coming up later this month, later in January. We're going to talk about just personal branding and marketing. And I put a link there that you can be able to click and get some information, and then we'll be able to reach out to you with the times and all that when that session will take place. And then we also have the Discover Your Superpower class that's going to start on January 14th. You can also reach out to us on that email, and on the website, let me see, I'll put here. So actually, I'll put the email. That's going to be Joyce at joycemerendez.com. And you can just send us a message, and we will be able to send you information on the different classes, that the different training sessions that are coming up, because it is important that we, in this day and age where people are starting to become more entrepreneurs, we are starting to actually have businesses and launching into our visions and our dreams and the things that we've always wanted to do. It's important to be able to do it right. And so even when it comes to branding yourself, you want to be able to brand yourself so that you can stand out. When people hear your name, they'll be able to say that, yes, this is so and so, and you can count on them, because what they show you on social media or what they say about themselves then is true. And then also you'll be able to meet your target audience, because you don't want to just be advertising to everybody and yet they don't come and buy whatever it is that you're selling, or they don't come to attend to what it is that you're doing. So thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, you can always reach me at that email address, Joyce at joycemerendez.com. You can also visit my website, www.joycemerendez.com, and then you can be able to communicate with me through there, and I'll be able to reach out back to you. So if you have any questions, if you have any training needs, or if you need someone to come and coach you up your organization, you can definitely give me a call. And I'm looking so forward to seeing you. And of course, I'm also known as the Insurance Princess. You'll be able to see all that on my website. So if you know anybody looking for health insurance, I am the person you would reach out to. So guys, thank you so much. Enjoy your day and have a wonderful, wonderful day.